Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Wednesday, August 18th. Or if you're listening to me in Australia, New Zealand, from that side of the world, it could actually be Thursday, August 19th. The moon today shifted from Sag to Capricorn. That occurred at 1:59 a.m. on the east coast of the U.S. So that happened early in the morning here. So the Capricorn moon is a moon that likes to manage. It likes to utilize. It likes to be efficient. And there's a great managerial sort of skill with that Capricorn moon. It's a very practical moon, and so we come into this day with a practical mindset, or actually more likely a practical emotional set. We want to roll up our sleeves. We want to fix what's not so much fix what's broken, but manage people, and there's a certain amount of control that we would like to have with this moon. And so that's all fine and dandy, except we're probably in one of the most astrologically challenging weeks of the year when it comes to order and chaos, because Uranus is very active this week. Uranus has been very active all year. Of course, we here in the United States, we kind of started the year with an insurrection, so that kind of put a kibosh on stability. And we've sort of been, reeling. Actually, we've been reeling for longer than that, right? Because we had our 45th president was a Uranian influence, and he has it in his chart very prominently, and it's really kind of his function in a way. Chaos theory. But today we actually have Mercury and Mars making an inconjunct to Chiron and Aries. Chiron and Aries is a wounded masculine. It's a wound around our aggressiveness. It's the wounds of war. It's the wounds of identity. It can be the wounds of narcissism. Just, coming from a really wounded place. The United States natally has Chiron in Aries at 20 degrees of Aries. So after we have our Pluto return and our Neptune opposition, of course we have our Chiron return, and I believe it's the 5th Chiron return for the United States. Chiron return happens about every 52 years. So that being said, what comes up today with this inconjunct is we can feel overwhelmed by the problem. How do we fix things? How do we work things? Mercury and Mars are both in Virgo, and so they want to roll up their sleeves. They want to fix things. They want to neaten things up. And there's just so much things just happening around, so much chaos, so much confusion. We can see that in a place like Afghanistan. We can see that in a place like Haiti, where not only did they have an earthquake, which of course Uranus in Taurus is very much earthquakes, then they had a tropical storm come through. Luckily, I guess it wasn't a hurricane. It had reduced its power at that point. But and it seems like long-suffering people are suffering even more, right? So and with all the Virgo, with Mars in Virgo and Mercury in Virgo, our minds and our actions are ones that wanting to help. So how do we help? Well, the other thing that's happening today is that Mars and Mercury actually make a conjunction. They start a new synodic cycle. It's in Virgo, and it occurs at 13 degrees of Virgo. So I want to read the Sabian symbol for 13 degrees of Virgo, if you give me a moment so I can find it here. I'm working with one hand, so I just want to drop the book on the ground. Okay. This is the Sabian symbol. says a powerful statesman overcomes a state of political hysteria. Can we appreciate political hysteria, folks? Yep. The focusing of the collective need for order and structural independence into a personage who incarnates the answer to this need. Let's see. We are at a stage where a powerful realization of the very purpose of this cycle of existence faces the chaotic remains of a disstructured past. Wow, doesn't that fit? The character of the leader is always delineated by the need, subconscious thought, it may be, of the unformed agglomeration of entities he is called upon by destiny to lead. In time, the leader will be worshipped as a divine father of the society he structured. It says a new type of characterization of the many-faceted polarization of positive and negative. We have before us a personage endowed with charisma, this elusive, mysterious power that comes from a man or woman's openness to the power of planetary evolution. So what I want to say about this, I swear to God, this guy was divinely, it's unbelievable. These Sabian symbols, how they align, it's just amazing to me. Is that on some level, I think we can all be that person in our own lives. And it's not really, I think it points to, the father of society, the father of ourselves, of our own, can you say your own society? Bringing your actions and your mind together in service, Virgo, for the greater good. Despite the fact that all the problems that we see are so stark, how do we take hold of this? How do we move forward from this? Well, first of all, Uranus isn't done. We still have quite a bit of Uranian energy coming forward, so we're not going to necessarily get the answers, and things are, there's no magic bullet here. There's no magic bullet. But we can align ourselves with our highest and best intentions for service to humanity. And especially this week, being kind and considerate to one another. Even when people, in our estimation, are being silly or stupid or blind, nobody likes, except maybe for the Joker in Batman series, nobody really likes chaos. Nobody likes to feel like at any moment the rug can get pulled out from under them. So we need to be aware that everybody is, in a way, in the same boat. Of course, some boats are a lot worse than other boats, but we cannot look around at this world and not think that it's not just Afghanistan. It's not just Haiti, but all over the world, things are being restructured because the old systems are breaking down and people are connected now. And so you can connect with an area that doesn't have the same restrictions as your area does. And you say, why can't I have part of that? Right? If they can do it, why can't I do it? And so there is a certain amount of people waking up to the possibilities. And yet we can also look at places like America and the first world nations and, how much they have it, quote unquote, together. And what that means for the planet. Like, just having it together, does that mean that, and having all these opportunities for, having and buying and, having a beautiful house or having a couple of cars or, all of that stuff. What is the price of that on the planet? So it's not just about making places that don't have. It's about making places that have, rethink what they have and the need for that. We are going through a profound transformational process, and we will never be the same. And our worlds will never be the same. The question is, what do you want it to look like, right? Being of service to one another, being in service to something greater than yourself is always, I think, preferable. But that thing greater than yourself can't be conquest. It can't be, I mean, it could be, but that doesn't really work. It has to be cooperative. And, you know, our future hangs in the, well, our future doesn't necessarily hang in the balance. I'm 60 years old. But our children's future hangs in the balance. And our children's future hangs in the balance. And heck, we're going to get reincarnated, probably back on Earth. Our futures hang in the balance. So let's be kind to one another today. Let's do our best. Let's roll up our sleeves and help in any way that we can. And be kind to yourself. Maybe I should have said that first. You know, that Chiron bit, Chiron and Aries can be somebody who's, you know, super into themselves and it's all about me. But it can also be those people who forget about themselves and are so busy helping others that they forget that they have bodies too. So there needs to be a balance. So for those of you who do too much, I want you to rest. For those who feel they need to do something, do things in small ways. It will make a difference. If you're distressed about the situation in Afghanistan and what's going to happen to the women, find organizations and institutes that are going to help the women of Afghanistan, or if not Afghanistan, other parts of the country. I mean, other parts of the world, right? If you're worried about the folk in Haiti, figure out what you can do for the people in Haiti. I mean, there are little things. If we all do just a little bit, we can make huge, huge changes. So whatever you have to do, put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then look around and see where you can lend a hand. And I think that energy is going to be the thing that gets us through one of the more challenging times of this year. Okay, guys, I want you to have a great day. Like and subscribe. I'm still going to be going out to visit my birth mom, Illuminata, this week, but I was going to leave tomorrow. Was I going to leave today? Well, today's Wednesday. I was going to leave today, but looks like I'm going to be going either tomorrow or Friday. But I will keep you posted and maybe give you a couple of views from the road. I don't know how exciting the New Jersey Turnpike is for most people, but it'll be nice to drive through my old homestead, not the Turnpike, New Jersey, of course. All right, guys, take care, much love, and namaste.